Hey guys, so I'm gonna be installing my Cheetah mount today that I got. I took everything out of the box and checked it out. And there's a couple inconsistencies with what the directions say. So here's the directions here. I'm supposed to have a K and an L top and bottom bracket. I have two Ks, but looking at how to put it together, that doesn't seem to be an issue. My ends are fine, and then also with my lag bolts, I'm supposed to have 8mm lag bolts, 4 of them, and I don't have that. I have two, looks like probably 8mm, and two probably 5 or 6mm. So those are two different sizes, which it's not supposed to be. But I do have the proper anchors for both of those and the proper washers. So something changed since they wrote those directions. And then I have my two O's that I'm supposed to have, and a whole bunch of M4, 5, 6, and 8 screws and lock washers. So the TV I'm doing is the Insignia 39 I got on Amazon, and it says right there this needs to use M6 screws, so that's perfect. So I have the M6 screws that came with the kit. So the first thing I gotta do is put this frame together. I'm gonna put the two Ks and the two O's together, and we'll be right back. Okay, so how this is supposed to go together is you have it's supposed to be a K and an L, but it's actually two Ks. So you have your back part, so it's flat. This is going to be coming out towards you. You take one of your circles, there's a hole in the side, put your screw through, screw it on nice and easy. The other side, screw through. Nice and easy, right? This is actually a little messed up here. Screw it in. Okay, so that's your front. Next piece. It's going to be a little difficult, because if you spin this one too much and you've tightened to this one's gonna loosen up. So you want to make sure this isn't too loose. And kind of get in there both. Put this one in. Let that spin around so it's on both a little bit. Take your drill, your screwdriver, side completely done. So that's the frame bracket that's going to go on the wall first, once you've found your studs in your wall. And then you'll screw this onto the TV with this pull. It sits on here, and then that'll click in place and hold your TV on. If you want to move it, pull it out, let it go. All good. Alright, so we're going to work on trying to find the studs now. Alright, so a little bit of math to figure out where the center of my wall is. So I've measured the wall that I want to put it on, and I have an area about 117 by 60. So 117 wide, 60 high. There's some bookshelves in the way. So I'm going to put it in the center of that. So to find the center, 160 divided by 2, 30, 117 divided by 2, 58.5. So I find my center mark, and from that center mark, I'm going to figure out the studs on each side of that center mark. The bracket itself is 18 inches by 8. So if we have 117 inches left to right, and we have an 18-inch bracket, we subtract that, we get 99. Divide that by 2, you get about 49.5-ish. And then with the top to bottom, take 8. We got 52, divide that by 2, it's 26, right? So basically from the top of the wall, so here's your wall, here's your center. So I have 49.5 inches from the top of the wall to the top of the bracket. And then also, excuse me, that's the side to side. So it's 49.5 side to side and 26 top to bottom. So I want to measure 26 inches down from the top and 49.5 from the side to figure out where the edges of my bracket are going to be. And then I can kind of marry up that once I find my studs. So we're gonna go find studs now. So here's my wall. I did a little bit of pre-work because the wall that this is on was an addition to the house. So the actual side of the old house was behind here. So it's kind of hard to find the studs, even though they did put new ones in. So if you take your stud finder and start over here, come on over, boom. So that's where one of the studs is right now. So I marked a line up and down to where that stud is. So the problem with this, if you'll see, there's my one stud, right? There's not one there, there's not one there, there's not one there, there's not one. There's supposed to be one there, but it doesn't work that well because of the house behind there. So I basically figured out there's one here, and if you go 16 inches in between, that should be where the other one is. I measured from the complete side wall of my house, and it's about 4 feet, which would be where a stud would be, 48 inches in, because you'd have it 16, 32, 48. So this pretty much is where a stud should be. I'm guessing there's one behind here also. So we'll mount the bracket. Should pop on here, so it should fit. My stud should be in this hole, and those 4 holes there. So now I gotta measure up and down and left and right to figure out where I'm gonna place the bracket. So like I said before, it's gonna be 26 inches down. So we're right around here. So this is where the top of my bracket should be. So I got 26 inches there. And if I go from the bottom, I should have 26 inches here. And if I just rough test it, boom, 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 I'm all set up nice. Okay, so that's where the top of the bracket should be. And if we come over about 49.5 or so. So let's see if this works out. So the edge of the bracket should be there. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna miss my studs. So I'm gonna have to offshoot this a little bit and just put it here, even though that's where I want it to be centered. So I'll just probably set it right around there. And then the TV, you can shift left and right in here. It doesn't have to be centered with the TV. The TV you can shift over. So we'll be able to play around with it and fool around with it and get the TV to where we need it to be, even though you can't get the bracket exactly where you want it to be. The up and down is really all that matters, because you can shift the TV left or right once it's on the bracket itself. So let's get this thing mounted. So they want you to pre-drill your holes. So what I did, I came over, measured down 26 inches. I flipped the bracket upside down so it's flat against the wall here, rather than this way. This is the way it should be. So for measurement purposes, I came up, hit my 26-inch mark, took my pencil, scratched across, and I got my mark. So that's where my first drill hole is going to be. They want you to use a 5mm drill bit. So what I'll do is I'll drill my hole here first, and then before I drill any of the other holes, I'm going to mount that sucker on there and then throw the level on so I can level it and then drill all my other holes after that. So that's something that you're going to want to do. You don't want to drill all your holes first, because you might have a problem with leveling it once you do all of them. So we'll get our first hole here, and pray that there's a stud behind there, which it feels like there is. So we get one of our lag screws. So I'm going to use the bigger screws, the bigger lag bolts on top first, and the little ones on the bottom. I feel like the larger ones would have more force on them than the little ones. So let's see if I don't have the proper. We'll be right back. Alright, so these lag bolts are 10 mil and 13 mil heads, because they are two different sizes. Here's our 13 mil is the larger one. So we'll pop that on here, and got our lag bolt with the washer on it. And take this guy, pop him in there. Okay, get him started. Okay, you want to leave it loose because you don't want to be able to move this around and hang your other ones. So we're going to take our level. Okay, middle portion looks about right. Hold that there. Give a little drill to where our other stud's supposed to be. Take our other lag bolt. Pop that bad boy in there. All set. So you want to keep it a little loose. So move it back and forth if you need to. So I would get mine kind of more towards that side, so it's a little bit more center with the center of my wall. The other studs would have been way too far off. So we'll pop that in there. We've got our other two lag bolts to put in. Okay. Got our lag bolts and screws. Now these are the 10mm ones. Okay. Small hole here. Small hole here. Alright, so this looks good. We're all set. We're drilled into the studs. I'm going to position it all the way over to the side, and then we can come through and finish tightening them. Make sure it's still level, looking good. Tighten them up. And all set. So that's the finished part of mounting it to your wall, and now we'll look at mounting the other brackets to the TV and then hanging it. Alright, so we're going to put the brackets on the TV now. I'm going to put the bracket right about there. I want this as high as it can go. The plastic washers go underneath, so you take a bracket. I'm going to use hole 3 on here, and put the washer underneath. Okay, and that one, and then washer underneath here. Put it through. Okay, and then tighten it down. Okay, it's a little loose. I'm not going to tighten it yet. And the other one, same thing. Take your screws with the washer, lock washer first. Okay, third hole down. Put in this one. Okay. This one, same thing. Easy peasy. So looks like it's loose here, and these are as tight as they get. I don't know if that's done on purpose, because these fit perfectly tight. So I don't think it's a big deal. This was from the plug. So both of those are on now, and let's go ahead and mount it. Alright, so mounting it should be pretty basic. You should just have to take this up here, line up brackets on top, and done. That's it, it's pretty much, you're mounted now. Okay, so it does tilt, you can tilt it. Okay, you can tilt it 15 degrees. Pull it back up if you want. I would always hold it like these when I'm tilting it if you need to. The one thing I don't like is these things hang here, so that shouldn't be easy enough. You can just tuck them up behind here, tape them up there or something. These are the releases, so locked on right now. If you do want to take it off, you pull them, it pops right off. You just pop it right back on. And that's how to install the Cheetah mount. It's not perfect, it's quick and easy. I could have put a little more time into centering it a little better, but it does the job. Have a good day. Comment, like, subscribe. One thing I did want to show you is, even though our mount wasn't centered, the TV still is. So we're about 41 and a quarter-ish there, and about 41 and 3/8. So it is still centered even though the bracket wasn't centered.